now had that many more players back then. Well, I mean, to be fair, the return of the OG maps was a big boost, and a lot of people who left the game came back for it. This event was freaking massive. I mean,
Oh,
both
I'm
the
glad you are enjoying the
reliving the
clips.
black hole event, and then adding Eminem, one of the biggest superstars in music, into it as well.
Salmonella, what? Yeah. Not quite back yet. Turkey's done, potatoes are done, stuffing's done. Just waiting on the the corn. And then that will free up a pot where I can do the gravy. So, yeah, it's getting there. Almost there. We shall be stuffing our faces soon. In fact, I wonder. La 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 la. Oh, listen to that sound quality. That's so hot. So hot. I wonder. Can we? Dare we? Let's see if I can take you guys to the kitchen. I got enough cable for it, but shit, but it's all tangled. Of course it is. Hold on, you guys are going for a little ride. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going for a little ride here. Gotta get you under. Well, we should have known that was going to happen. Sorry, just saying we should have known that was going to happen. Anyway, let's go over here, shall we? Over to here. And then I can actually talk to you guys while I set up dinner and everything. Come on. There. How are we looking? Well, doesn't help when I have the chair in the way of the screen. That's lovely. Look at our floor. There we go. Beware of the cable. Beware of the cable. Camera in the kitchen. Beware of the cable. The cable's over here. Okay. Just telling Rose to beware of the cable. So, first off, I forgot to turn the other light on. Hold on. Ow! Fuck! Yeah, it's fine. This is the metal stand from my Yeti. It's on the table there. I just bumped it, I guess, and it just bounced off my knee and then landed on the floor, so no damage was done. Anyway, check out the Boyd. Check out the Boyd. Yeah, that's a Boyd. 7.5 kilos. And then we got potatoes. I haven't mashed them up yet, but potatoes, russet potatoes. Rosie skinned them. I cut them and boiled them. Boil them, mash them, put them in your face. Anyway. Okay, so it looks like corn is done. Corn, just very simple. Peaches and cream corn. from the Valley of the Green Giant, of course. Okay. So, figured just put the corn in the little bowl because it doesn't take up a lot of space. Just got to drain off the excess water. Go. Should be able to fit. I don't know if there's any mods in the room, but if there are, and you could change the category to just chatting, that would be very lovely. Thank you. We also have some stovetop stuffing, very tasty. Does the job quite nicely. Alright, so basically all we got left is gravy, so we're just going to rinse this out real quick. Come on. There we go. And we're going to very carefully pour some juices from the turkey into the pot. And just mix in some gravy and maybe some pepper. That should be fine. Alright. This is the tricky part. It's basically how I baste. I literally dump the whole thing into a pot. With the juices. There we go. Add a little flour to thicken it up. Got here. Yeah, we got some all-purpose flour. You need a ton. Picked that up for one of her baking projects a little while ago. Just get a whisk and we'll put it on medium just to kind of heat it up a bit. It may have been a little too much flour. That's okay. It just means a slightly thicker gravy. You know? And when it congeals later and you're putting together a leftovers thing, it lets you like scoop a glob of it on there, and then when it reheats it melts and like soaks into everything. It's, yeah. Anyway, and just a little bit of coarse ground pepper. Yeah. That should do it. And we could step it out a bit with some water. I don't know if we can might be able to get a little more juice out of the pan there. The leg is trying to fall off on my face. Don't want that to happen. So there we go. We got a little bit more juice. Just whisk it all in there gently because there's not a lot of room in this pot. Yeah, it's a little better. Get it all mixed in.
Apparently everyone was saying that I brought
Okay, I think we're good. You want to come and get food, Rose? Cannaburges.
Cannaburges.
Good old Cannaburges.
That's yummy.
Yeah, I'm so hungry. We both had a little nibble of turkey just to tide our appetites a bit.
You want your U plate, I'm guessing?
Yes, please.
Fucking floor tiles are gonna make me throw shit.
There. Perfect.
Tastes so good, but sounds so gross.
Some nice, fresh cranberries.
Delicious.
Just mash that up a bit. Left in the fridge for a while because Rosie and I like them cold.
I know some people prefer it warm, like with your turkey, but personally I prefer it cold. Do you have room for plates?
The masher thing.
The masher thing?
I haven't smashed the potatoes yet. I'll do that now. They go all over the place.
Cold.
What is?
Plates on my tummy.
No. Well, yeah, it's been cooling in the dishwasher for a while, so it's probably cold now. Just the basic KitchenAid masher here. The reason to skin them, otherwise the bits of skin get stuck in between and everything. Tasty, but pain in the ass to get out of the masher. I'm sorry, are you bored?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
I'm excited for corn and cranberry sauce and turkey and stuffing.
Everything.
Yeah. Originally I was just gonna say corn, but then I was like, no, I'm excited for everything. We got to have lamb earlier.
We did, yeah. She had leftovers from work. And they were yummy. It was like a lamb roast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Get it out of all the little holes.
That was pretty good. I can tell you would be very OCD with the power washing game.
Yes. I think I was too OCD for it. It crashed the last time I played it.
Really?
Trying to get into every nook and cranny, and then it was just like, just can't handle this level of OCD.
Oh, I didn't have issues.
No.
There you go. You can go first if you want.
Sure. Are you taking anything in particular?
Top.
Top?
Just a chunk.
A chunk off the top.
Yeah, I mean, if you just serve me turkey, I can do the rest.
What do you mean?
If you just cut me a bit of turkey, I can, like, portion myself the rest of stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There.
That's all I'm getting. A shred of turkey. There we go.
That's better.
Do we have a spoon for that?
Well, we have one we could use for that, I'm sure.
Perfect. Are you giving me more?
Coming for me.
Okay.
I'm having turkey too, you know. What are you doing? Put it in the pot. It's not
I
complicated.
didn't know if it was gonna melt.
No, it's not gonna melt. It's fine. It's like dripping gravy all over the place. Like, was it on fire or something? What was going on? Definitely a McLean.
Great.
What do I do?
Asshole.
Stop thrashing about the kitchen for starters.
Just fucking throws gravy just everywhere. Is the potato pre-buttered?
No,
Okay.
we'll need to butter it.
Can you butter my potatoes?
No.
You butter it good.
Yes, because I learned to butter it myself when I was young.
Well, I know how to butter, I just choose not to.
So you're just being lazy then.
Yeah.
Skin.
It's good.
Mm.
It's good. There. I know. Butter my own potatoes. This is such a McLean, like, kitchen scene.
All the random noises.
The random noises and chaos.
Me.
Ow! See, exactly.
Yeah. It was intentional. I meant to do that.
Oh.
Embrace the pain. The pain of cooking. You just try to get some butter on it and then you mush it all in with your fork. Why? Oh my god, what are you doing? You're just hopeless today.
Yeah.
Get stuffing.
No room for stuffing. It's like all in one spot.
What is?
Butter.
Oh. Yeah, then you just spread it around.
Good enough. I'll come back for stuffing if I am not stuffed.
Mm.
Yep.
Well, I'm definitely getting stuffing. I love it. Gotta get those bread products in there, right? Get some corn. Actually, I'll get the potatoes first. Well, Rose ran off with hers, but I'll show you my plate once we get it all put together here. Should have got a bigger serving spoon, but that's okay. As long as it gets the food on the plate, that's all I care about. And I put the potatoes next to the meat because I don't mind if they get a little gravy on them, you know what I'm saying? There we go. Okay. Flatten that out a bit. Did you put the butter away? I was going to use it. Yeah, good thing I didn't leave you guys weren't watching clips through all this. This would have been long. Instead, you get a little impromptu cooking with Z. You're welcome. A little Easter present for you, I guess. Just gonna spread it on here. Just make sure the top's got lots. They cooled off a little bit because they were done a little sooner than I anticipated before everything else, but that's okay. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Damn good. Just gonna mush the butter in a little more here. Yes, you can imagine how annoying it was being stuck behind me at family dinners. You're welcome, family. It's a little something for you to remember me by. Sean. Oh yeah, that kid who wouldn't get the fuck out of the way. Spent forever buttering his potatoes. Well, Rose didn't have room for stuffing. I don't have room for cranberry sauce. That's okay. We got lots of other stuff. We will be fine. Alright, you guys want to see the feast here? We will probably have seconds at some point this evening, but for now, here it is. Look at that. So we got turkey smothered in fresh gravy, stovetop stuffing, peaches and cream corn, mashed potatoes with olive oil based margarine. There you go. That's some good eating. Some good eating, son. Alright, so let's see. Just gonna grab a knife and a fork, and I'll get you guys back to the desk. Alright, we'll there testing. Okay, we'll go back to the sexy mic. Hi there. Sexy Wexy. That's me. I'm actually gonna open a window because it's freaking boiling in here after all the cooking. Get some water. Hold on. You've lost audio. I restored audio. You should have better audio than ever in the history of audio. So much the audio. Put you guys here. That way. You can see the food. I have no idea how much this feast means to us. It's been a rough month.
Not just, mentally, but just generally. Funds have been tight and whatnot. The move this up here. There we go. But also we didn't have money, so we didn't have food. So there was a few almost a week. We literally just lived on potatoes, Thankfully, potatoes are really good to live on. They actually give you energy and slow release over a period of time. Well, yeah, add hot sauce. Well, that's all lovely if you have hot sauce. So, yeah, no, we were just baking them and buttering them. Didn't even have anything really to add to it beyond that. Like, not even a freaking gravy mix or something. So, that was it. But, I mean, you got the job done. You had ham and prime rib, Patrick. That sounds good. I hadn't had prime rib in a while. Definitely not the kind of thing most of us can afford to eat every day. I'm just kind of eating a path over to the turkey here. Sort of. Yeah, those potatoes are really good. Funny enough, I was just talking about living on potatoes. You're going to be so sick of them by now, but no, Irishman. I'll have potatoes in form with most meals. And then in a pinch, we'll happily just have potatoes as a meal. So, yeah, good stuff. What's taters, really? It's just a simple way of saying potatoes. It's kind of a slang term, taters. Hence the brand Tater Tots, which is, small bite-sized crispy potatoes that, they're made from potatoes. Hence tater tots and not tomato tots or something. Oh. What's tater? Gollum, right? I'm working on being very high right now. Also, I forgot I made that reference earlier. Boil them, mash them, stuff them in your face. That's totally it, right? I do also stick them in a stew. Pretty much every time I make stew. I guarantee there's going to be some taters in there. Oh, so good. So actually having like a full, proper meal like this, yes, is something we haven't had much of this week. So we picked all this up yesterday. And then just for the day, so we had food for yesterday, because obviously we're going to be cooking this up as soon as we got home. We just got some pork chops. There wasn't really much on sale that sort of leapt out at us. There were a few hams that looked okay. I considered getting us a ham, but I thought, nah, I think we'll be okay. One thing I wish we got, though, is bread. I love having turkey sandwiches. So we'll see how we hit the absolute limit of our budget. So, like, literally $1 more is unacceptable. It would put us under for rent. So hopefully we'll get a few donos in this weekend. that we can get in the bank by Tuesday when the bank's open again. And maybe get some cheap chocolate or something. Or we get no donuts at all, and we just say, fuck Easter. Overly commercial anyway. You don't need all that chocolate. Yeah, and you're probably right. But see, I want all that chocolate. That's the difference. Not everything has to be a need. Sometimes you just want it. For pleasure. It's turned out perfect. It's very good. I opened the window in my bedroom. It's all warm in here now because of the oven being on for 6 hours. I guess I still need my glasses on to read the chat, don't I? Oh, that sounds good. Rob says we had a honey-baked ham and red-skinned potatoes cut, seasoned, and pan-fried. Yeah, I pan-fry potatoes pretty often myself. Very tasty. Not too much in the way of seasoning usually, other than, I use olive oil, so it gets some flavor from that. I do use, really taking a liking to pink Himalayan sea salt. That shit's good. Good on fried potatoes. Good on popcorn. Good for just about anything. And I find a little goes a long way. It's actually seems to be quite strong, but very flavorful. As much as salt has a flavor. But yeah, it's good. Pink Himalayan sea salt. One of a handful of things pointed out to me in the past from someone that I have decided to retain because that one was actually good. Everything else, I'm just like, no, fuck that. I'm going back to what I actually like to eat. Fridge alarm. The door was ajar. The door was ajar. Yes, you weren't losing your mind, Michael. There actually was something going on there. Something nefarious and evil. Well, speaking of all things nefarious and evil, one thing I've been doing, sort of my regular coffee time viewing or late night when I'm winding down viewing, I've been finally sitting down to watch Friday the 13th, the series. I just finished season 1 the other day. I guess yesterday. And just started season 2 today. But actually really enjoying it quite a lot. I love a good old-fashioned cursed antique shop story. And, this is one that's a whole series. And it's not just an anthology. There's actually continuity with the main characters and stuff, too. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. It's fun. I like it. Also very Canadian. I recognize most of the actors in it. One just the other day, actually, that I watched guest starred Cedric Smith, A name you may not know right off the top of your head, but I bet you know one of the characters he's played. He was the voice of Professor X in X-Men the Animated Series. He sadly passed away a couple years ago. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have come back for the new one. But yeah, quite a prolific Canadian actor. He was in a lot of Canadian-made shows and movies and stuff. Smothered in gravy. Guessing there's no mods here. Vermin was here, but I don't know if he's still awake. He may only be with us in spirit. I forgot what I was going to... Oh, yeah. I was going to look at the category here. Oh, he's back. Well, yeah, I've been back for, like, most of my meal. I was only gone for, like, 30 seconds. I sorted out the camera. The Wiggles song. No kitchen exhaust fan. Oh, how did I not? Why did I not see all of these comments earlier? That's weird. I don't know. Zoning out, I guess. There is. It's really loud though, and it doesn't really work very well. It would be intrusive upon our peace here on the stream. It's one of the reasons I got a quieter fan for the living room, so it wasn't so, obvious. Barf. Oh, that doesn't even. Stop it. There.
I'm surprised nobody commented about the thumbnail. I took great pride in that. You can see it if you go to YouTube. I needed a picture of zombie werewolf Jesus, and it was just far too specific, and the, selection wasn't great. And the few that were like just covered in watermarks, whatever. So I decided to steal some art and do it in an AI algorithm. Yeah. I'm not one who subscribes to all of the AI alarmism, only some of it. I think there are valid points on both sides. Very fine people on both sides. But in this case, it's actually true, and there's little to no racism involved. Mostly. Probably. Maybe a little racism. But yeah, I didn't see any problem in using a stupid little AI algorithm to make a stupid little thumbnail for my stupid little stream that there's no way in hell I would have paid anybody to make art for it anyway. It was either that or some piece of generic clip art. I wanted something more dynamic, so there you go. You see how many fucking tries I went through to get it to look as good as it does. It's still not even perfect. And before anybody says it, yes, most of them had lots of extra fingers. Sometimes entire extra limbs. Sometimes entire extra them. Like, there's only supposed to be one. There'd be like a crowd of zombie Jesuses or something. I'm like, no. That's not what I asked for at all. I didn't say zombie Jesus triplets. So yeah, some are better than others. I tried a few different things. And that one just seemed like the sort of most fun. Looks like it could have been out of a horror comic or something, Which is funny because I wasn't even going for a comic book look. I actually told it to do it like an old oil painting. Well, it looked like an old-timey picture. I'm not very good at it, so. I'm just not a good prompterer, I guess. Whatever the hell that's called. God, that's actually going to be a profession, isn't it? A profession. Professional prompt writer. We swear we don't just use Chat GPT. I actually never used Chat GPT, although I understand people have had some pretty interesting conversations with it. But now it's a matter of, is it actually talking and thinking and processing information, or is it just regurgitating what other people have said that match that metadata? I don't know how advanced it actually is. I mean, it seems pretty advanced. Apparently, it's very good at plagiarizing things. To the point where some schools ban the use of it. It's like, I'll just have Chat GPT write it for me. There was actually a video I saw on TikTok the other day. I think it was TikTok. It was one of those like short form sites. Doesn't matter. And it was from some, I don't know, whatever the current teenagers' generation is. I don't know if is it Generation Z or is it Generation Alpha now? I can't keep track. They keep adding new ones all the time. But anyway, whatever the current one is, some teenage girl talking about how someone in her class gave the whole game away. What it was is somehow the subject of Chat GPT came up.
and the teacher didn't know what it was. So it's like, oh, have you not heard of Chat GPT? It's like, no, I have no idea what that is. So then the same guy says, like, oh, well, come here, I'll show you. It's like, everyone in the class is just like don't, no. That's our best and most useful cheating tool. Don't do it, you traitor. So yeah, I just thought it was funny that like that was the thing that everyone is in solidarity over is Chat GPT as cheat bot. And and the one that they turn on is the snitch who basically blows the lid off the whole operation and ruins everybody's fun. Yeah. But it's interesting to me. Like you see what things are sort of like hallmarks of an era or a generation, right? And it's like it's different. Everyone is different. As much as we as people remain the same, the technology and how we interact with it and stuff is different from generation to generation. I really don't feel that we as humans have evolved that much. I think our technology has evolved faster than us as like people. And so really you kind of mark each era not with what greatness did man achieve, but rather with what were our favorite toys. You know, I guess our favorite electronic toys, ultimately leading to this, the internet in its current form. It's funny, we talk about late stage capitalism, but I feel like, in a way, I think we're heading for like late stage social media as well. Did anybody get that sense that the world of social media is kind of like imploding on itself right now? Largely due to just greed and censorship and bullshit. But I feel like more and more people are getting really put off by that. Like I know a lot of people who gave up Facebook ages ago. I know probably just as many who gave up Twitter as soon as they heard Elon was buying it. So I don't know. It's is that just within my little circle, my little sphere of experience? Or is that happening on a larger scale, I wonder? I don't know. Well, it's interesting to think about. Yeah, I think those edibles were just waiting for the turkey like I was. Smart little edibles. Every time I try to trick them, they end up tricking me. They're tricky. Gummies are predictable. Even that cannabis iced tea I get is predictable. But these gel caps, every time I think I've got them figured out, they react in a slightly different way. Or it takes a little longer to kick in, or a lot longer to kick in. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So, you do the old stoner thing. If you take another handful or whatever, however many you're taking, you take a second helping. And then it's like the first helping was just waiting for you to do that, I guess. And then the second helping comes, and then they all kick in together. So then it's just you get hit with double what you were expecting, and yeah, almost to the point where I come to expect it when I do that. Anyway, obviously they're working now. So that was Nummy. We will definitely be having seconds at some point this evening. I gotta figure out how the hell I'm gonna put all that in the fridge. I mean, I could tear it all apart and portion it off into Rubbermaid containers in the fridge. The containers in the fridge. That's so much work. I'm not gonna want to do all that by the time this stream's over. I'm just gonna want to relax and stumble into bed. So I don't know. That's hilarious, apparently. I still need to see the last two Ghostbusters movies. Ow. That was because I included the 2016 one. I know. I deserved that. But I still want to see it. I haven't seen it. I own it. I've never watched it. So, I don't know. I'll watch it. At least once. I'll watch the extended version. Yeah. Extended version. More jokes. More funny stuff, you know? And to me, to reconcile in my head, I mean, it's still a Ghostbusters movie. This was still something that was made by people that love Ghostbusters. And they also have a cast of some of the finest female comedians of their day. You know? Some very funny ladies. And Chris Hemsworth, very much playing against type. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen it. I just know that a lot of people hated it. A lot of people didn't really, even on the merits that I listed, that wasn't enough to elevate it out of that pit of suck that they just couldn't reconcile. I don't know. So anyway, I'll be approaching it much like how the IDW comics do, and I think they may have done exactly this as well in the IDW comics. It's an alternate universe. How many freaking times do they go to other dimensions in the real Ghostbusters? You know, a lot. So, well, and even in the movies, but and in the games and stuff. So I mean, they're no stranger to alternate realities and stuff. So yeah, that will be my reconciliation. If there's anything I find discomforting about it, just be like, that's just the way things are in that dimension. You know, they suck, apparently. Anyway, I hear Afterlife is terrific though, and the Ghostbusters 3 we always wanted. Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, yeah, because like I said, I haven't seen it, but I'm thinking like, is it just because at that point in time, that well, they just presented it poorly. You know, if they had presented it as just an alternate universe, because hey, Ghostbusters can go to other universes. Just ask the turtles; they'll tell you all about it. I forgot what I was saying. Wow, that derailed fast. Anyway, Michael was saying the IDW continuation made me appreciate the 2016 film more than I originally did. Yeah. I think like the biggest problem that's what it was. The biggest problem was it presented itself as a reboot, and we didn't want a reboot. Nobody wanted a reboot. Didn't matter who was in it. Didn't matter how good it was. We did not want a reboot. We wanted Ghostbusters 3 for fuck's sake. And Dan Aykroyd has been wanting Ghostbusters 3 forever. So yeah, so they let the heat die down from that, because that's when now you hear about all this other stuff that's going on with Ghostbusters. You know, we got a new video game that just came out. There's an animated film in the works, and there's another. I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing a sequel to Frozen Empire as well, making a nice tidy trilogy. But that was the original plan back in 2016, was they were going to do like a Ghostbusters universe kind of thing. You know, their own little MCU, but Ghostbusters stuff. So there'd be animated ones, there'd be sequels, there'd be, you know, you could have alternate realities and stuff. And at the time, I remember when that came out, they were saying that they were also planning a Ghostbusters with, you know, the sort of traditional all-male team, if you want to call it that. And an animated movie. So that was being planned as far back as 2016. But when that movie bombed so hard and there was so much backlash from critics, fans, everybody, and some of it just, quite frankly, psychotic. Like, if you heard anything about the shit that Leslie Jones had to put up with, like, God, I cannot possibly admire that woman's strength any more than I do. because she stayed on the internet, motherfucker. She didn't run away. She stayed and endured that. And it was just awful. But huge kudos to her, like just monumental strength. Absolute queen. But anyway, I forget where I was going with that. I started praising from the Holy Book of Leslie Jones. Yeah, it's like I think that was the big problem, was that they were presenting it as a reboot. So if it had just been done as a side thing, what if story, alternate universe, whatever, then I think fans would have been a lot more forgiving of it. But then there's others who say, like, yeah, I went in with an open mind and blah 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 blah, but that movie actually does have some problems. It's not just all hype and fan outrage. There are some issues. But like from what I saw, I also saw, that there'll be at least some things to like about it. So I don't know. I just can't. I guess the bottom line is I just can't bring myself to fully hate anything Ghostbusters. I have to find some good in it somewhere. Even the shittiest episodes of the real Ghostbusters from like seasons 5 and 6. Yeah. I have not. I think I've heard of that one though. Icarus says, "Ever read Beasts of Burden? It's like Hellboy but with dogs." I have not. It sounds familiar though. It's a melting pot, I feel. It wasn't just one specific issue, as Michael. It says it wasn't just one specific issue. I'm shocked that a good chunk of the OG cast stuck around. Really? Yeah, because I know that they have cameos in it as not the original characters. And on the one hand, yeah, that's supposed to be a little fun thing. But I think, again, that just kind of blew up in their face. It actually offended the fans more having the original gang together. It's like, well, what the fuck? You had all of them right there. Why didn't you just make a movie with them? So it just added fuel to the fire, and it was supposed to be just these fun little cameos. Like, hey, look who it is, haha. No. Everyone's just like, motherfucker. But I think maybe now that we have two apparently outstanding sequels that really get back to the spirit of the original and the real Ghostbusters. I love that they've like so fully embraced and acknowledged that, which is just magical to me. That now maybe we can distance ourselves from all the hoo-ha-ha when it originally came out and just watch it as a Ghostbusters movie, like as an alternate, a what-if story, Also comforted in the knowledge that we know we'll never get a sequel to it. They're never going to do another one of those ever again. That team is done. But yeah, well, yeah, Bill Murray. I'm glad to see that he's lightened up about coming back to do more Ghostbusters. Maybe he just really needs a paycheck right now. I don't know, but hey, glad to have you back, Bill. And oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, like Harrison Ford with Star Wars, thought he'd have a mini role in Episode 7, but no. Oh yeah, he actually had a pretty good presence in Episode 7. That was good. I know some fans didn't like it though. Oh, great! So now we get deadbeat Dad Han. I think you're oversimplifying the situation there a little bit. Han Solo, everyone's favorite deadbeat dad. Oh my god. What says? Say, hey, Ryan79 says Ghostbusters was the first movie I ever saw in theaters. Very nice. Same with my brother, actually. Yeah. Parents took me when I was 4-ish, and it scared the crap out of me. Yes, I'm sure it did. I took Rosie to see it in when the hell was it? It's around the time of like one of the anniversaries, I think. Anyway, it came back into theaters briefly. I think she was like about 8 or 9. We'd watched quite a lot of the real Ghostbusters. She really liked that. She liked Slimer and everything. So it came back into the original came back into the theaters for like a few showings. And I was like, and I asked Rose, I said, did you want to see the original Ghostbusters movie at the movie theater? She's like, oh. So, yeah, we went to see it. And it was funny because, you know, sometimes she, you know, if it got to be like a scary part or something, I'd feel her little hand just kind of clench my wrist. But then she'd relax because, you know, something funny would happen because it's Ghostbusters, right? But the part I thought was the funniest was when they first meet Slimer at the hotel. And it's like a whole massive, just fucking brilliant set piece. Like, just that whole scene is like one of my favorite scenes out of the whole original. Just so much fun. So much physical comedy in that. Holy shit. So anyway, that scene comes on, and you know, I'm laughing, and you know, the jokes I've heard 100 times, but they still crack me up because they're just so brilliant. And then you know, it carries on. You know, Bill Murray gets slimed, and you know, and then they're fire a few stray shots trying to get Slimer, and then there's a bit of a break before they have their big sort of final showdown in the ballroom, right? So you have a little moment to breathe. And then Rosie, and I'm just, you know, having fun. And I figured Rosie would get what was going on, but she wasn't quite sure. So she leans over to me and says, Daddy, why are they trying to catch Slimer? And I said, oh, well, this was before they became friends. This was the first time they ever met. It's like, oh, so they became friends later. Yeah.
What about me?
I was talking about when we went to see Ghostbusters, and you were puzzled as to why they were shooting at Slimer. I said, well, they weren't friends yet. Oh, okay. This is when they first met.
Oh, I see.
Because you only knew them from the real Ghostbusters.
Sure.
Where they're friends. I think actually there's an episode of the real Ghostbusters that explains that. Like what happened between the movie and the show. And how Slimer agreed to, you know, stay with them and stuff. Like there's a whole episode surrounding that. It's cool. Lore, man. Love me some
All I
lore.
heard was Rosie.
Well, I was imitating you whispering it to me at the theater. Yeah. What is it? Ryan says right now in Destiny 2, they have Ghostbusters themed items about the Ecto 1 car spaceship. Nice. They actually, they've done that in Fortnite as well. I have the Ecto 1 glider. It does the siren as you glide down. It's neat. I forget what other Ghostbusters stuff. I think I just have like a random Ghostbusters character, and then like the backpack and one or two other things I can't remember. Yeah, but anyway, cool. Love me some Ghostbusters stuff. What was that? And Michael says, I can't sort of see what they mean. Not specifically that, but in general. Oh boy. Hold on. I need to go through this a couple times. I can't sort of see what they mean. Not specifically that, but in general, I see. And this is for. Oh my god. I still don't know what he's talking about. And this is from the more like minded, reasonable, open, intelligent fans. Just feel that Disney, with a lot of older characters, just have their returns be elders now, all broken people from tragedy. Like, not that it's a wrong direction, just there are people that feel it's maybe been done a tad too much. Gotcha. I see what you're saying now. And he says, I personally don't really care. No, neither do I. I mean, I almost enjoy a tragic story more than one with a happy ending, because to me it's more true to life. The good guys don't always win. The guy doesn't always get the girl, you know? Ryan says, and also a Slimer ghost shell, but ran out of money to buy it. Ah. Well, that's the thing. When those big special event things come along, you focus first on the thing you really, really want from it. Like in your case, your case, the same as mine. The Ecto one had to be the Ecto one, but and then with whatever you have left after that, you kind of triage everything, like most important to least important, and then see how far you can go. I know how that works. Ghostbusters. Huh. Michael says, I know many who haven't been a fan of the film sequels, but feel real Ghostbusters and Extreme Ghostbusters are actually more worthwhile and expanded on the concept. Whereas, to be honest, 2 uh, does, in all fairness, take a lot of beats from the first film. I mean, Ghostbusters, the video game, and Afterlife heavily connect to the first film. Yeah, true. Well, the video game connects to both films. But it didn't like there was nothing really there from other iterations of Ghostbusters. It was strictly from the movie lore. You notice that? So it wasn't even a hint of even a nod to real Ghostbusters or anything. So yeah. So the story just was strictly based on the first two movies. But I thought it was interesting because it pulled together the two sort of parallel mythologies into one. So they were having to kind of deal with everything together all at once. And and it expanded on the lore behind, the guy who made the building and Gozer and Vigo, and we just got like so much more added to that story. Um, while at the same time feeling like it made it a nice tidy trilogy, where it's like, okay, the first one we meet Gozer, the second one we meet Vigo, then the third one, that's when they, join forces or whatever. For the big finale, and that's, there you go. It's your mini Avengers. But yeah, but that's basically what they did in the game. But I noticed that, like, it stuck very strictly to the lore that only existed in the movies. Icarus says, "I hope they add the gorilla in future films." That well, yeah, I don't know what the status is on that. I actually don't know who owns the rights to that version of Ghostbusters. Um, I don't know who has it right now, but yeah, that would be funny if they could just have Tracy the gorilla show up out of nowhere, help them find where their mission is. Uh, as Michael said, I think long story short, people are like, enough of Gozer. Well, yeah, you say that to Gozer and see how well you fare. I can tell you. Aim for the flat top. But yeah, and that's the thing is like the um that's what I was gonna say is they very openly said they were very intentionally going for a real Ghostbusters vibe with Frozen Empire, for it to feel essentially like just a long real Ghostbusters episode. So I just love the fact that that's sort of the first time in the canonical Ghostbusters universe that the real Ghostbusters has actually been acknowledged, and in a pretty significant way, apparently. Like just in terms of the feel of the whole movie, like that's a big change from just whenever the game came out 15 years ago. So, yeah. We also just went in and brought a villain from. Oh fuck yeah, that would be great. Wouldn't that be great if they did that for the third one? It's like first one is just kind of oh, nostalgia, nostalgia, because when you bring back a franchise after 30 years, it has to be that for the first one. It just has to, as a thank you for the fans who waited this long. Second one, you start to give it the feel of a real Ghostbusters episode, right? And then the third one, holy shit, it basically is a real Ghostbusters episode because there's motherfucking Sam Hain. It's been all leading up to this. So, yeah, my God, that would be amazing. And release it around Halloween. You know, perfect. Hey, marketing people, send us our checks. Thank us later. Yeah, he says do a Ghostbusters Halloween set film with Sam Hain brought to live action. Yeah, there you go. I watch those two Sam Hain episodes most Halloweens. I think it's Halloween and then Halloween 2.5 or something from the following season. So I do a double bill of those. But I know I'm pretty sure Sam Hain did show up in other episodes, even if he wasn't the primary focus. At the very least, you'd like if they ever went into the limbo of the ghost containment unit. you might catch a glimpse of them in the background somewhere or something like that. But or if they're looking, I think they had a viewer actually. They could look into the containment unit if they're looking for a specific ghost. So sometimes you'd see him show up in that. But yeah, those two early episodes are the most significant appearances for sure. I forget. Was it Don Franks voiced him? I feel like it was. Well, must answer the call of the ADHD and find out. You know how this game works. The real Ghostbusters. Okay, hold on. I think you can see it there, right? Yes. Kitty. Okay, so it's When Halloween Was Forever, season 1, episode 8. Good old Sam Hain there. So I was just trying to see who voiced Sam Hain. Bill Martin. Bill Martin. Bill Martin. Cam Clark. Holy shit. You guys know him. He was the voice of Leonardo on the 80s Ninja Turtles. That's him. He was also the voice of Kaneda in the English dub of Akira. He was also Maximilian Sterling, ace pilot in Robotech. Yeah, Cam's voice is one I know very well. Frank Welker, of course, as Dr. Raymond Stantz. Lorenzo Music, the better Peter Venkman. Thank you very much. Not a fan of Dave Coulier. I mean, Dave Coulier is basically just doing a Bill Murray impression, and it's fine. It's perfectly serviceable. I just felt that Lorenzo's performance more naturally captured the attitude of Peter, you know? It wasn't about sounding like Bill Murray, it was about capturing Peter's attitude. And I just feel that Lorenzo Music was a much more talented and nuanced voice actor for that sort of thing over Dave Coulier. So, Maurice LaMarche, of course, as Spengler, and Arsenio Hall as the first voice of Winston Zedmore. Yeah, pretty cool. Now, how do they have this one organized? See, I always put the next weekly syndicated season after this one in my viewings, so those 26 episodes just kind of connect up nicely. Then I do the other one, syndicated daily one. You don't fully appreciate just how many new episodes of Real Ghostbusters came out in year 2 until like you see this thing. It's crazy. Yeah, no, I think it's after all of these. Apocalypse, what now? Oh, I think it was Apocalypse, what now? Oh, here it is. Okay, they put it as season 3. So see, I would actually put this. I usually put this before because it started as a weekly series. This was the weekly series that came out that year. And what we went through it for the 50 episodes of season 2, that was the daily series that went out that year. So they had what, 63 new episodes of the real Ghostbusters. No, I think it's actually more than that. I think it was a full 65 episodes that they put out plus the 13 for the weekly. So yeah, 78 new episodes of the real Ghostbusters came out that year, 1987, and it was on 6 days a week, a different episode every day of the week. Crazy. Except, one. But like 6 new episodes for a full 13 weeks straight, 6 days a week. It's crazy. It's a great time to be a Ghostbusters fan. Yeah. Oh, right. I wanted to actually check. Yeah, sorry. Come back here. I wanted to check Halloween 2.5. Yeah, that's what it was. Uh, yeah, yeah, no. Bill Martin again. I guess it never was Don Franks. I thought he did do some voices for this, but Dave Coulier. No, 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 no. I have the Lorenzo Music version of this. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was one nice thing about the Time Life set for Real Ghostbusters. Was as some of you may know, when Dave Coulier took over the role for the later seasons, they actually went back and redubbed a lot of Venkman's lines from the old episodes. They had Dave Coulier copy over Lorenzo Music's lines, which I always thought was really shitty on the part of all persons involved in that entire process. you know, literally trying to erase another performer's work from history because what? He quit because you were a dick to him? Is that what you're doing? That just makes you look like more of a dick. I'm just saying. So, yeah. So anyway, the Time Life set, where multiple audio performances existed, they would always favor the Lorenzo Music performance over the Dave Coulier performance. To the point where if a Lorenzo Music performance exists for that episode, they don't even include the Dave Coulier version. Now, that may annoy completists, but as someone who was quite ticked off actually when they did that, as a huge fan of Lorenzo Music from many things that he did over the years, I don't care. So, yeah. So I was quite okay with that executive decision, and I actually heard, and I think I was on one of their message boards, like when that whole set was being put together. I remember talking to somebody about it somewhere, um, but yeah, I do recall that question coming up, like regarding episodes that have both Lorenzo dialogue and Dave dialogue, and which one would you use, or would you include both? They said, well, likely, and they just basically said, yeah, we just use the Lorenzo version and not include the other version, and there was literally no complaints. And this was like collectors like us who are usually really adamant about wanting everything. They're like, I can do without the Lorenzo Music Erasure track featuring Dave Coulier. I'll just stick with my Lorenzo. Thank you. Thank you very much. I guess it was like, I mean, from a business standpoint, I guess it was the stupid thing of like, oh, we want our syndicated repeats to be consistent with the later episodes. Since you were in the later episodes, the ones we want to include in the syndication package from the earlier episodes, we'll need you to re record the dialogue for this character's lines. So. I hope Dave Coulier had violent, traumatic reactions involving a lot of vomiting once he realized the full extent of what he had done. Yes. Anyway, did I go big again? Oh, I'm big, baby. I'm big. So big. Oh, yes. Yes. I think you're absolutely correct there, Michael. I was just, getting out of my ADHD rabbit hole there that I. You're welcome, by the way, for bringing you with me. I'll try to do that whenever possible. He says, "Oh yeah, there was an episode where they sent Slimer inside with a chest cam, and he stumbles upon some of the worst Ghostbusters baddies playing poker." And one of them was Sam Hain. Oh, I know, and that just tells me I'm absolutely in the wrong timeline where something like that could happen. He said, "We can hate on Dave Coulier all we like, but never forget he dated and banged Alanis Morissette." I know. You keep reminding me. She even wrote a song about him. I'm imagining it was one of the "Wow, you were such a fucking asshole" songs. uh She seemed a little bitter on Jagged Little Pill, but god damn it, aren't we all? Hence, we all relate to Jagged Little Pill. Uh, but seriously, that is one banger of an album. Just not a bad song in the bunch, really. One of those rare things. Actually, no. It was about how good he was in bed. Well, fuck. You've ruined Alanis Morissette for me. All this time, I thought that song was about me. Singing about this fictitious person that she wishes she could meet. And I'm like, hey, I'm right here. But she can't hear me through the radio, you see. So I just cry myself to sleep. Oh, God. You ought to know. That one, I don't recall that one being a particularly positive song. It's like, right here to remind you of the mess you made when you went away. It's like a bitter breakup song. Also, one of my favorites, actually. I think. Oh God, why are you taking us down this deep, dark pit of madness, Michael? He says, "I'm just imagining a remix of that song with Dave doing back vocals of his of his many voices." Just randomly here. Throw me the trap, Ray. Yeah. He slimed me. He just, I don't know, his voice for Peter was just okay. Lorenzo Music's voice had that the right attitude of like kind of sly wink, sarcasm, you know, always has like a clap back for pretty much anything, any situation. With Dave Coulier, it just sounds like a douchebag. Meaning there's no nuance there. No subtlety, no sly wink. It's just like, hey, I'm Bill Murray. Hey. It sounded like Rodney Dangerfield doing an impression of Bill Murray. Hey, I'm Bill Murray. No respect. Yeah. uh, my God. What was I doing? I was just doing something where they went to hell. Oh, Friday the 13th, the series, actually. Yeah. I watched the season 2 opener where they literally go to actual literal hell. So that was pretty cool. I was not expecting that from a show about cursed antiques, but fuck it, let's go to hell. Yeah, actually, really enjoying that show. But I was trying to think like, there was something I just saw or played or something to do with hell. And to be truthful, I have a lot of things to do, to watch or play or whatever to do with hell. That's beside the point. Terrifying. Absolutely. Absolutely doodly. Doodly 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 doo. Oh my god, okay, Halloween. Okay, look at this. So, completely forgot. I mean, how perfect is this to have as a tie in with bits of the first one as well? It's Halloween on the streets of New York City. The Junior Ghostbusters. They're totally leading up to a Sam Hain movie. Now that we've been talking about it, I'm actually thinking this could be where they're going. It could be. I keep listening to Dave Coulier on these. I swear I have Lorenzo music versions of this episode. Uh, oh yeah, actually, hold on a second. Here. All right, hold on a second. Took me so long to get to the right damn folder. I forgot what I'm looking for. All right, Real Ghostbusters. Hold on. Because I think I have this actual episode here. Yeah, here it is. I got it. I just want to get to a line of Peter's. Okay. We're not going to watch the episode as much as we want to. We can't.
This is the place.
Before Halloween Eve.
Boy, this is tougher than I thought. Have to catch my breath.
This is one of the many hauntings that have hit the city. A minor job. A piece of cake. No problem at all. A piece of cake, Dr. Venkman?
I never said that. Even if I said it, I never said it.
Okay. That was clearly Lorenzo music. Now, it says that this episode, which is from the second weekly series that ran alongside the daily series. IMDb says it's Dave Coulier, but I'm pretty sure it isn't. Let's find out.
We now return to the real Ghostbusters.
Huh. Yeah.
I'm Donald. You're Ed. Kids. Doing to me, so in there.
It's just so wholesome.
Warmongers.
Fuck, that is Dave Coulier.
Ghostbusters are just too smart.
Come on, kids, let's party. Okay, hit it, wartmongers.
Well, it's just... Okay. So sorry, IMDb. So sorry. Oh well. Wouldn't be the first time my memory had failed me. But I mean, I'm not going to argue the facts. That was clearly Dave Coulier. So that's it. I've been defeated. Anyway, great episode. It's unfortunate Dave Coulier's in it. Maybe that's why they all list season 2 as the 65 episode season in the middle there. Because that whole 65 episodes has Lorenzo music in it. So I think in terms of actual number of episodes, Lorenzo may have done a few more than Dave originally. Not counting Dave's overdubs of Lorenzo. Just ones where it was legitimately originally their episode, you know? Fun fact. In the end... Oh, Micah says, fun fact. In the end, we did get a crossover with the Jason Friday the 13th films via Part 9. Jason Goes to Hell, the lead of the film was a main cast member. Oh, that's right. He played Ryan. Yeah. Which is just wonderful. That would have been around the same time that he had done the show as well, like within a couple of years at least. But you still need to finish it. I just started season 2. So season 1 I found kind of hit and miss. Like there were some that were okay. There were some that were just kind of that was weird, but it didn't really do much for me. But then there were some that were genuinely outstanding, like edge of your seat nail biters that presented really complex moral dilemmas with the whole nature of the curse on it and stuff. And yeah, so it's like when it's good, it's really good, you know. It goes all in. But yeah, so it had a so-so finale to season 1, I felt, but it leads straight into the opener of season 2, and the opener of season 2, holy fucking shit, that episode is nuts, absolutely nuts. I was like, wow, they're just like going full on with the crazy now. I love it. It's like they don't even care anymore. We're just doing what we really want to do, and we're all gonna trip balls today. But it's yeah, it's looking like I mean, I don't know how consistent that quality will be across the season. I expect it'll be somewhat inconsistent like the first season was, but also expect there to be a lot of diamonds out there to be found, And even the so-so episodes, there's still something about them that I enjoy. It might be that the curse is so silly in that episode or something, like it's a terrible episode, but the curse is like unintentionally hilarious or something. But there have been a few like that. Yeah. Yeah, Freddy's Nightmares and Friday the 13th were a little more successful. Well, and they also broke a lot of ground too. Like that's something like we got to give credit to how ballsy they were with doing these just full on gory horror shows on regular television. Yeah, it was like 1987, 88 where suddenly we had a bunch of syndicated shows that were really trying to like push the envelope of what level of gore you could get away with on television. So first season of Friday the 13th came out of that. First season of did Freddy's Nightmares come out that year? No, I think Freddy's Nightmares came out the following year. Shit, when did Freddy's Nightmares start? Was that 87 or 88? I have to look now. Hold on. Yeah, it was 88. That's what I thought. Yeah, so it wasn't the same year. But yeah, so you had, but actually two significant ones. No, three significant ones. 1987, you had Werewolf on the brand new Fox network. That is like one of the best freaking like horror sagas ever put on television. We got to do a viewing of that at some point. It's really good. Friday the 13th, the series, especially like the first half of the season, is pretty gory. Like almost Friday the 13th, the movies level gory sometimes, just without the nudity, sadly. And then the other would be War of the Worlds, which also had some incredibly gory, definitely boundary pushing levels of gore episodes, all in the same year. So then those came out. War of the Worlds got a second season. Friday the 13th got a second season. Then Freddy's Nightmares came along and pushed the envelope even farther. And that's when the parents groups really started to take notice. So both Freddy and Friday had their final seasons the same year. So there's a bit of it's actually quite a lot of backlash about these horror shows. TV, well, much like video games at the time. TV didn't have ratings yet. So, yeah. Now it doesn't matter, like, at all. Like, none of that has anything to do with anything anymore because it all goes to streaming. And, you know, it's up to you as a parent to decide what you want your kids to see or whatever, or what you yourself want to see. You can filter and censor however makes you feel comfortable in your own skin. So yeah, it just I'm glad that it makes those types obsolete, although I'm sure they'll always find some reason to complain. Oh yeah, they do. When Has Been Hotel came out, there was a bunch of like angry Christian moms. who very much still thought that all cartoons are for children. Won't someone think of the children? Yeah, no, that's an M-rated show, ma'am. It's not. It's M for mature, not M for children. Or everyone. Or 8 and up. Like, I don't know. I'm very curious on how the hell that show would have brought in Jason. Like, how many episodes? Would have been like a season-long arc? Like, just how? Because the people behind it were down for the idea of bringing Jason in. Imagine Jason murdering the entire cast. Well, I mean that could almost be like if they're gonna get canceled, would they know in advance? They could literally do that. Just have the final episode. Jason finally shows up after all this lead up and just destroys the whole entire beloved cast that you've been following the past 3 or 4 seasons. The end. You thought this was gonna have a happy ending. You weren't paying attention. Well, yes, it kind of would. It's like you wanted a connection with the movies, motherfuckers. You got it. Connect her right in half. Michael just said that would be pretty metal, to be honest. Oh, so Patrick is frantically like jumping up and down in the back of the class. Z, I know the answer. Pick me. But I didn't have the window open, so I'm sorry I missed what he was saying. He said I was going to tell you it was Dave for that episode. The first episode that episode was from the second ABC season. That's who it was. ABC was the weekly show. syndicated was the Daily Show, right? So, yeah. So then Patrick says music only did the first ABC season and the ones that were syndicated. So yeah. So I guess that's so they didn't go so much in story continuity order. They went in Lorenzo order. See, that would be strange then, because then it wouldn't actually have the consistency, would it? Because on the weekends, you'd have some other guy as the voice of Peter. Who the hell's this guy? He doesn't sound anything like the Monday to Friday guy. And Monday to Friday, you got the silky smooth Lorenzo music caressing your ear meats all week. And then back to douchey McPopeye on the weekends. God, I'd be so confused. I probably just would have assumed Lorenzo was sick that week or something. Uh, I do have a little bit of nostalgia for that show as well because, it was. Whoa, jeepers. Thank you, Duncan. 65 months. Hey! Speaking of syndication, that is enough months for you to be syndicated. Congratulations. So just need very condensed versions of the previous 65 months for the syndication package. As short as possible, like a minute or less is ideal, to represent each month. And then we'll have more room for commercials. So, yeah. That's something I never thought of, because here we perhaps take that for granted a little bit. Because here, with, say, a sitcom, when it first airs, it would air on whichever of the television networks had made it. So the so called network version. And then later, when they accumulated enough episodes to sell it into syndication, they would have the syndication cuts. The syndication cuts would cut sometimes as much as 3 or 4 minutes out of the running time of an episode, just haphazardly snipping pieces out to shorten the time. Because if the purchaser can squeeze in an extra commercial break or two, that's more revenue for them. It's more incentive for them to buy that package. They don't care what the show is. They just want to know it's something people are going to watch that they can squeeze a lot of ads into. So, yeah. But what I was thinking is there ever such a thing for BBC shows? Like, if they ever repeated something, presumably it was just in its original form. Although I know sometimes they would do like omnibus versions of a miniseries or something, and it would be like a condensed edit. Not just the whole thing strung together, but it would actually be shorter. But beyond things like that, because we had that here too, where sometimes a short series would be edited into 5 TV movies. So you could have one every day of the week. I remember for a long time that was the only way you could see the old Planet of the Apes TV series. As part of the syndication package with the movies was they would include 5 additional movies, which were basically movie edits of episodes from the Planet of the Apes live action TV series. So 2 episodes per movie. So kind of neat. Kind of neat the way that works. As short as possible. about be taking the first sip of tea 65 times. Perfect. That is some quality viewing. People will pay good money in advertising revenue for that kind of content. What to do today on this Easter Monday? Tea, apparently. Well, I was gonna play some games, but we sat on food time so long that the PS4 or PS5 went into sleep mode, and now I'm kind of wanting seconds. So I might go get some seconds. Need to go to the tip. Those who don't speak Duncan, he means he has to go to the garbage dump. Oh. Kitties actually love the new cat tree that Rosie got them. It's very cool. Especially glad that they like scratching it more than everything else now. So, yeah. Speaking of sending a package through customs. Yes. Did I not tell you? Did I not tell you what happened with your package? I could have swore I thought I told you. Okay, so Michael sent a package, basically a birthday. Was it birthday? Halloween, Christmas, something package, of stuff, and was concerned that because of some post office fuckery that I might get dinged with some big like import charge or something. I'm like, dude, I'm struggling to pay rent right now. What are you sending my way? So I was both looking forward to and dreading the arrival of this package. So yeah, I think I just like woke up one day and the package was sitting on my computer chair. And Rose said, yeah, it was just by the door. Like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, no, I don't know. There's no fees, obviously no signature. I just left it by the door. Whatever. So okay. So yeah, I have no idea what happened there. But anyway, arrived safe and sound. Thank you muchly, good sir. I sworn I mentioned to you. Maybe I just imagined it. Maybe I was like, it was like I was playing through in my head the scenario of telling you to make sure I didn't forget to tell you. And I kept forgetting to tell you until the point where my rehearsal was mistaken for an actual memory of something that happened, when in fact, no, just the rehearsal happened. Okay. Says my biggest gift set I've ever given. More than just Docky Who stuff. Ooh. I need more food. I'll be back. I don't know which gun it was, but obviously one either with a horrible rate of fire or a fast rate of fire. And he said, I prefer an increase in recoil. And then a vibraty emote. Anyway.
Are you okay?
I was just demonstrating what a gun with horrible recoil is like. No. Well, yes. And when data gets aroused, you hear this sound. Yep. That's how you know you're about to get some of that bone chicka bow wow in the transporter room, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know. Being nice, yeah, that's the other two.
Yes.
All right. Oh, see, now the clip didn't work. It gave me an error. Let me try that again.
Oh.
Nope, error message. Now it's just, Twitch, can you fucking fix your shit, please? Just a polite request. Really sick of all the shit being broken. We can't do markers. We can't do clips. So I guess Luke says, I'm thinking more of a crotch cam. Well, dun 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 dun. Yeah. That was appropriately alarming music. Turned 21 and a half. Yes. He gets so grossed out by anything related to vaginas. Vaginas? Excellent. Well, then you'll have to show him the VOD. Just to watch him squirm. Ryan's only 21? I know, right? He's been 21 since I met him. Could you say something about vaginas towards him, please? His online handle is silver. No. But thanks for asking. Oh, har, LMAO. Well, you're only, what, 26, 27, Scully? Right? Thereabouts? Yeah. Next to their bikes. Of course, it's the real.
Bunch of wusses.
Down into town.
Extra pistol.
I actually have two currently. Oh, I do.
Okay, and there's a hammer.
Oh, I'm double fisting the pistols. Ooh. That's interesting. I might ditch one of my pistols for that. Oh, footsteps nearby. Footsteps. Oh my god. And he's dead. He was so. Confirm. Oh shit. Did I just. Oh shit! Did I just buy RoboCop?
Yes.
Oh my god! I just fucking bought RoboCop. I don't have the money for RoboCop. Fucking hell! RoboCop Rogue City was in my cart. I forgot, and I just bought it apparently.
Fortnite? What was this?
No, the new RoboCop game. I forgot I had it in my cart. Well, keep those donos coming, guys, because I need to pay off RoboCop now. Well, hey, guess that we can play RoboCop sometime. is he? Oh! Holy shit. What a pain in the ass. There's got to be a better way to do this. I'm zoning. I need to go make food and pee and smoke. I don't need to make pee. I've already made pee. I need to go pee. Make pee go. Then I need to... And I'm pretty sure I remember my password. God, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I was literally passing out in my chair earlier. It's like I should just go to bed. I can film later. And it will all be populated by aliens and slee stacks. Wow, that's going back a bit. Land of the Lost. Oh, we got it. And now we're doing a little Austin Powers recreation. There we go. Okay.
Very cool.
We're good. We're good. Excellent. About to plow through some people here. Into the water we go. Oh, we might actually make it. We might actually make it. Yep, we made it. Oh my god. Oh my god, I hate everything.
We'll all be dead by the time you solve this. We'll all be dead by the time you solve this. We'll all be dead by the time you solve this. We'll all be dead by the time you solve this.
This is really unnecessary, game designers from 25 years ago. Really unnecessary.
We'll all be dead by the time you solve this. We'll all be dead by the time you solve this. We'll all be dead by the time you solve this. We'll all be dead by the time you solve this. We'll all be dead by the time you solve this. We'll all be dead by the time you solve this. We'll all be dead by the time you solve this. We'll all be dead by the time you solve this.
Oh my god. Oh my god, seriously? Oh my god, seriously? Okay.
Got some more meat and potatoes.
Corn. The potatoes aren't like super warm or anything, so it doesn't really sort of melt the butter in there, but I think I spreaded it around a bit good so it'll melt when it's in my tummy. That's fine. That's fine. I was mad at myself for interrupting myself. Mm. Mostly dark meat this time. It had cooled off enough. I was able to tear off a few hunks. Well, this is boring. Maybe we can watch something while I eat. I don't know what we can watch. What can I watch that's not going to get us flagged for watching things or whatever? Audio-visual content owned by Universal and God. Like, okay. Whatever. Suffer. Still haven't cracked 50%. Hmm. Harry Dairy Daddy Doodle is almost dethroned. I see. Basically, $5 will dethrone him. I like to point these things out periodically. I know not everyone notices or things to check. Just kind of phase it out of your mind because you're just so used to seeing it there. It's almost like it's right there, but you're not seeing it, you know? Until I call attention to it again. You're like, oh, right, Stream Boss. Yeah. Get on that. Be the new king or queen. Or non-binary. Mm. It's time for meat. I just spit on my desk when I said that. Oh my god. I'm just looking at internet drama. Michael says, I wish I could find it, but in another server, someone said some kiss-assery BS involving Harry Knowles, like a 4-paragraph, egotistical sack of shite paragraph rant. Wow. Glad I missed that. Wasn't he outed as kind of a big sack of shit during the Me Too movement as well? I seem to recall something along those lines. Which is good. Expose all of the sacks of shit for being the sacks of shit that they are. You know, all out in the open. So it never has to happen again. Oh, Jesus. Ah. Duncan.
Large 6,502 donated $20. Doing boiled eggs.
Boiled eggs. Wonderful. So many things you can do with them. I mean, so many things you can do with eggs to begin with. But even after boiling them, there's still a bunch of different things you can do with them, which is wonderful. Just eat them. You can make deviled eggs. You can make egg salad sandwiches. You know? Boiled eggs are wonderful and versatile. Well, I guess that also just shows the versatility of eggs. You change it into the boiled egg form, and it still has like multiple things you can do with it. Never had deviled eggs. Essentially, deviled eggs. Basically boil the eggs, cut them in half, and scoop out the yolk, and then the yolk is mixed in with some other stuff. I can't remember if it's mayonnaise or something to make it a little creamier. And then it's put back in, usually with like a bakery thingy. Hey, thanks, Anon. $1 from Anonymous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, and then you basically kind of put it back in. They usually use like almost like when they want to be fancy about it, they'll use like almost like an icing thing to turn it into like a little flower that goes back in there. I don't know if the flower formation is necessary, but it does make it, you know, look kind of nice. But I appreciate little touches like that. And then it's just kind of lightly seasoned on top with something. I want to say paprika, maybe. I'm not an expert, but I eat them if I see them. I've never actually made them myself, but I like them. Medium boiled in a buttery slice of bread. Okay, so you make like an egg sandwich, basically. You hate salad. Well, it's not literal salad. It's where you take the eggs, like boiled egg, and you chop it up, and you mix it in with like some mayonnaise and usually some chives and a few other basic seasonings, and then you use that as a sandwich spread. So you make a sandwich out of it. It's quite good. I like it. I like those types of sandwiches to begin with, like tuna salad, done basically the same way. Have that all the time. Haha. Well, that all depends on how many donos we get. We hit the absolute limit with our Thanksgiving. I can't want to say Thanksgiving, Easter dinner stuff. Which thankfully we get some leftovers, but this was the limit. There was no more room for chocolates. We would love to get some chocolates, and we would. A nice tuna sandwich. You know, I've owned that movie, Cool Hand Luke, on Blu-ray forever. I still have never watched it. But I hear it's great. Mm-hmm. That's the dark meat, yeah. And a little bit of white meat, mostly dark meat. I like my turkey like I like my women. Little bit of white meat, mostly dark meat. Fucking A. Michael says, I'm of the headcanon that Jesus, when coming back from the dead, morphed into what we now know as the Easter Bunny. Mm-hmm. And that's when the real horror began. Cursed, day in, day out, to take the incommunicative form of a bunny. Trapped. Okay. I love how you lead into your stories. So it says, egg salad sounds like what my mom used to make and put in sandwiches as a kid. And I'm thinking, yeah, right? that was good, right? You liked it, right? Then he just says, I hated that. So did all the other kids. They sat there eating a fart sandwich. Wow. She used salad cream to make them. I rarely eat cold eggs because of that. Oh, okay. I think we all would. Michael says, to be honest, I'd watch that as a movie. Bunny Christ. In Hop we trust. See, I mean, already, it all pretty much writes itself. Yes, bunny cry. I get it. I'm trying. Yes. Not the Jay and Silent Bob one. Bunny. Little bunny wabbit. Yeah, what's up, Doc? That sort of thing. I know. I know. I know! God damn, this turned out good. I think my body was like super starved for nutrients. This is like it just instantly absorbed that first serving. Like, well, I'm going to go have even more. Oh, is that where that's from? Ryan says, what we got here is a failure to communicate. Famous line. Cool Hand Luke is where it is from. There you go. Even if you like to see where famous lines came from, you gotta see that movie. Usually when I tune in, you're eating nachos. Yes, well, it's Easter. So, Turkey Day. It's okay. He's allowed to scratch that. It's a scratching post. Literally what it is for. What? Michael was losing. He says, sorry, the official Doctor Who server I follow for April Fool's Day changed its name to the official BBC Country File Discord server. Oh my God. It's clicking in my brain, but my brain is not communicating to my mouth meats. It says you're not far off, considering that Easter is an appropriated pagan festival of spring that was used to make conversion easier. There you go. Hey, whatever cockamamie story they want to invent to justify having a holiday again so soon after the others, that's fine. I'm all for it. All I care about is cheap turkey, cheap chocolates. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Cheap food is what I'm saying. It's like stock up on a couple of turkeys. You know, you got meat in there for, well, depending how much you eat. I mean, it could be weeks, could be months. Depends on the size of the turkey as well, of course. But you know what I mean. Good value, especially on season because they're always on sale. Apparently, Duncan is familiar with country life. I mean, you live kind of a country life anyway, don't you? But strangely, but it works. Married with, being just a pure technophile. Well, I didn't know of it until 2 seconds ago, and Michael told us about it. And says, I'm surprised you guys know of it. No. Whoever changed the name was obviously a Brit. Knew the other Brits would get it. To us, it's just like, haha, random show. So we all kind of get the joke, but I'm sure those in the know get a little bit extra out of it. And that's how that works. Sometimes you just gotta sing. Well, you can just scroll back in the chat The chest of the chat. You know, you have to scroll back that far. It's still on my screen. What Michael was talking about. This is not a turd on my plate. It is, in fact, a nice long chunk of turd. I mean, dark meat. The darkness of a turd. I don't know where I'm going with this bit. I just want turkey. Turd key. Ha ha. I haven't seen any April Fool's stuff yet. We had one of our regular viewers came in and tricked me. Silly person. That's okay. I was not expecting it. Oh. You fools! Oh, this turkey turned out fabulous. I feel like it almost didn't need to be in there as long as it was. It's not like dried out at all. It's just... I feel it could have retained a little bit more juice. That's just the perfectionist in me. Knowing how I've made turkeys in the past. Is it halfway to Halloween already? I don't. I mean, we go by whatever traditions we sort of were brought up on, I guess, eh? And for me, that was it. Turkey was Christmas. It was Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. Those are the 3 big turkey days. And then I guess the rest of the days is when they grow the turkeys. Also, when it's in season like that, turkey tends to be really cheap. And you get a good deal on it. So, what I have done many times before, when money was tight, it was close enough to the holidays, I would get like a turkey to make then, but then I get another turkey to put in the freezer for later. Sometimes 2 to put in the freezer for later. So then when it's off season, you know, if I'm having a tight month or whatever, I can cook up one of those turkeys. I was living like alone then too, so it was just me. So I would actually have to put some of it in the freezer because I couldn't eat it fast enough when I was slimmer and trimmer. But yeah, Duncan says over here everyone traditionally does lamb for Easter dinner. I wonder if that's could be partly why. The old folks place where Rose works, they served lamb tonight. She brought some leftovers for us. Funny enough, so we actually had both. We had some lamb as well. It's really good. Yeah, it was very good. I can't remember if I've had lamb before. I'm sure I must have. But yeah, I mean, I can certainly see that being like a holiday meat rather than an all the time meat or special occasion meat. Same with goose. goose isn't as common. But yeah, like a special occasion of your choosing, really. That's how my cousins wasn't too bad. I usually avoid lamb. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, yes, we are well aware of your obsession with Wagyu steak. Michael says the dream for me would be having Wagyu steak for Christmas. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely incinerate it while smothered in barbecue sauce. Fuck yeah. Throw it in a pan with some butter and fry it up. Oh yeah. Cool it all down with a pot of boiling water. Yeah. Every conceivable way you could ruin that steak. Had the lamb, but not the mint sauce. I think I should. Yes, we were talking about this earlier. Because Rosie has a British friend. Well, we all have British friends, but and he was asking about that too, saying if we had the mint sauce with it. And when Rose was serving the dinner, like everybody, all these sweet old people were asking, "Do you have any mint sauce?" Because they're all, I guess, of the old country and appreciate the want to honor the old ways. But for whatever reason, whoever prepared the meal, the traditional lamb meal, missed that one little detail. It did have a really tasty gravy though, which I certainly liked. It's kind of a beef, well, kind of like a half between beef and poultry gravy, if that makes sense. Wasn't like dark, wasn't light. It was like somewhere in the middle. But it was good. Michael says I can't watch the cooking videos with it anymore. Just drooling in sadness, not being able to afford it. That's right. That's when you just go and watch some Hell's Kitchen. Just take solace in Gordon Ramsay ripping incompetent idiot chefs a new asshole. As they ruin meal after meal after meal. Tiny. Oh my God. It says, although you can get a tiny sliver of Wagyu from $20 to $35. But again, tiny. At Walmart. What? You can get a tiny sliver of Wagyu at Walmart? Really? That's crazy. Huh. Sell it now. Barely, from the sounds of it. They sell a cockteeth's worth. So what's the largest portion of Wagyu I can get from Walmart? One cocktease. Oh. What is that? It include both balls or just one or the other? I don't know how to answer that. someone needs to do a cartoon of that. But I'll understand if no one does. No one wants to do cartoons of me. The hell would watch that? Fucking says it was from Jamie's. Oh, he says, look up Jamie Oliver's Save with Jamie series. That was a godsend to me when I was without work. It says it was from Jamie's Save with Jamie series / book. I found the amazing chickpea and sweet potato curry. Ah, yes, which cost practically nothing to make loads of. And he used cauliflower to make a rice substitute. Oh, probably way better for you, too. Actually, rice has like 0 nutritional value. It's like corn, it's just filler. There's really no nutrients in it at all. Okay, well, that's not terrible, but Michael says it's like the size of a marginally bigger filet mignon, but cut in half. That's Walmart Wagyu. Okay, well, so that's not. I was picturing like literally like a fucking chicken fry, not even a chicken strip, a chicken fry, like a single julienne fry of chicken, but just the chicken from inside that like tiny little tube of chicken. But this would be like more flat, like a thin shaving of Wagyu. You can almost see through it. It's like translucent. It's so thin. And they lay that on like a white cushiony meat thing. You know what I mean? They're always in those trays. Lay them on the white one so you can actually see it. $25. Uh-oh. We might have a fight breaking out in the chat here, guys. So, so Michael says, Jamie Oliver, I can't stand as a chef. He wishes he could be Gordon Ramsay. And Duncan says, I can't stand Gordon, LOL. Says James May beat Gordon, by the way. Oh. Well, you know what? Be that as it may, I really want to try his beef Wellington. That looks so fucking good. Basically looks like, here's what it looks like to me. It looks like a giant sausage roll, but instead of being like a sausage in the middle, it's like this choice cut of like seared beef. And then gravy slathered over that. Like, fuck, man. Yes. I need that. I need to try that. I want to try that giant meat sausage. The nicest thing I have to say about Jamie is he isn't Salt Bay. Fuck Salt Bay. I don't know who Salt Bay is, but yeah, fuck them. And what that stuff that they did. What do they think they are? No idea. I trust our judgment of awfulness. I just realized it's starting to look like I'm in one of those fucking antique stores. Hey kids, welcome to the basement of the shoppy. Bay. I mean, just generally fuck the term bay, you know. What is it? Ryan says turkey Thanksgiving, then ham for Christmas, ham for Easter. Oh, so only turkey for Thanksgiving, eh? Interesting. Says, get them all free every year for my wife's work. Sorry, no raise, but here's a ham. That is so Jelly of the Month Club, isn't it? But I hope it's at least a good size ham, you know? Wow, that sucks. But yeah, that's the thing is like in my, you know, growing up, we had big families, so we had big feasts, and they tended to be, you know, still much bigger than they needed to be. So, you know, we'd have probably a couple of turkeys on the go, ham, and usually being with the Italian relatives, we'd also have seafood, like all different kinds of seafood. A lot of it being fried, which of course is just heavenly. So, yeah, there was a lot of food. Any holiday, any excuse, honestly, to have the whole family get together for a freaking feast. Yeah. It's great having Italian relatives growing up, I'm telling you. Yeah. What was this? Uh, oh, hold on. He's the guy who slices meat in TikTok posts and seasons them by dropping the salt down. Oh, the like that, like the always like kind of being all sexy about it. That guy with the glasses and you know, I don't know, kind of looks like a French painter. That's the whole gold leaf steak thing. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Duncan says, I've never heard of this. Salt Bay that you speak of. Ah, well, I never access TikTok and never will. Well, there you go. So the gold leaf steaks, which cost like 1,500 to 2,000 something or more dollars, and the cost to get gold leaf is stupid cheap. You could make a gold leaf steak at home for semi higher than the average steak. Well, yeah, of course. It's all about the show, right? It's all about the perceived value and rarity and gourmetness of something. It's all about the marketing. Not about what it is, not about how easy it is to do it at home. It's about how to make it so attractive that people will prefer to just buy it from you specifically. Reminds me, I gotta get back to Hell's Kitchen one of these days. I think I was like halfway through season 10. I tend to watch a lot of that stuff. Like, I'll just binge the shit out of it, have it on constantly whenever I'm working on other things, you know. And then I'll kind of have my fill, move on to other things. But it's one that I'll usually come back to eventually because it's fun. I enjoy it. Luke just sent me another video of someone defending the Cameron 4Ks. It's like I just can't get away from this fight. As soon as I leave for just a little while, the idiots come back louder than ever before. Now they're influencers. Oh. I'm getting too old for this shit, man. Oh. One last battle. Yeah. One last battle. Yeah. Next to their bikes. Of course, it's the real.
Bunch of wusses.
Down into town.
Extra pistol.
I actually have two currently. I do.
Okay, and there's a hammer.
Oh, I'm double fisting the pistols. That's interesting. I might ditch one of my pistols for that. Oh, footsteps nearby. Footsteps, footsteps. Footsteps, footsteps. Footsteps, footsteps. Oh my god. And he's dead. He was so... You guys want to be helpful? If I just randomly go off on some rant, clip it. You don't have to clip the whole thing. Just clip something. So there's some record of it. And then I can find it later and I won't forget about it. You know? Please, I'm begging you. Use that clip button. It doesn't have to be the greatest clip known to man. I mean, essentially just using it as a stream marker, just so I know where things are and know that there's something there that I should, you know, grab a bigger chunk of. So, and then with the highlights, I mean, I can go in. It doesn't need to be just a minute long. Clips can only be a minute, but if there's a clip there, hold on. Kind of like that, sorta. It's hard to see. You know what a clapboard looks like. Anyway, it looks like that. So you just basically tap that, and it'll automatically do a clip of like the last 30 seconds, I think. Thing all the time about how he wanted the extended cuts. All the extended cuts on Blu-ray. Why don't we have the extended cuts? We want the extended cuts, extended cuts, extended. It was just the same thing day in, day out. Anytime the subject slightly came up, he'd start going on about the extended cuts. And it's like, stop. So eventually I just had to ban it entirely to make... Robert Crumb was the creator of Fritz the Cat. So you are familiar with Robert Crumb. You just didn't realize it. I mean, you could probably say that this was the introduction of, like, this was the origin of furry porn. Like, quite literally. In the early 90s, when a friend and I... fighting some other squad. They were in the middle of looting when I hit them with the Thunder Strike.
Yeah.
And then that's when they knew we were there. But...
And they waited for us at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. But I knocked the one guy, and then I fell off the cliff, and I came back up, and he was rezzing, and the third guy was coming, and so they were all together. I knocked the guy just as he got rezzed, and the guy that was rezzing him. Now had that many more players back then. Well, I mean, to be fair, the return of the OG maps was a big boost, and a lot of people who left the game came back for it. This event was freaking massive. I mean, the whole idea of possibly maybe reliving the Black Hole event, and then adding Eminem, one of the biggest superstars on the planet, into it as well. Like, so I mean, you'd get people who occasions. It's fun. It's fun. All right, where are we going here? Hold on a second. Why are we up here? We need to be. Oh shit! Oh, well, we're committed now. Oh, thank God. Okay, we're all right. Oh, fuck!
Sorry about that.
That's it for one team.
There's so many people.
Yeah. Downed another one.
Yeah, me too.
Cracked one.
He's dead. That's it for the other team.
Holy crap, I actually got one.
Nice. Good job.
I think that may be my first actual kill.
Like, ever? It only took 5 years. Better late than never. I can already see the t-shirts flying off the shelves. Or is that into the bins? Because they wouldn't sell. I got the gist. Crickets. Oh, I guess the fad's over. Did you do your missus last night? She got the gist. That one's good. That one's legitimately good. She got the gist.
Not the fine face! It has to happen! Face! Tired of waiting! No more waiting! Need a face shot! Boom! Twist! Yay! In the face! Not so complex! Need it! Want it! Need it! Have to have it! Face shot! Boom! Brains everywhere! Not the knee! Not the arm! Not the spine! Face! It has to happen!
His name is Face McShooty.
No more waiting! Need a face shot! Boom!
Shoot Face
Yay!
McShooty in his face.
In the face! Not so. Shoot me in the face! In the face! Do it! Shoot me in the face! Thank you!
Thank you. Shoot Face McShooty in the shoot this guy in the face. Shoot Face McShooty in the face. You shot him in the face. Turn in Face McShooty. Oh shit! I didn't think the train came on that track. We never saw it go by.
Okay.
Oh my God. I actually defeated the lightsaber with the kinetic blade. I'm a card. And then I died. Okay, Moaning Myrtle. There's literally no point to my putting the backlights on because you can't see them right now. You just see the disaster that is my desk. Spread before you. Bearing my soul. Not really. I just don't care. See, this, you guys get to see more of the real Z. Find out how much of a dick I really am. And, yeah, so you get it, warts and all, not the clean, polished Hollywood version that the people who only watch the YouTube videos get. No, you get to see how fake all of that is. See how janky my setup actually is. And all the hell I go through just to make a simple fucking update video. You guys know. You were there. In the trenches with Brother Z. That's right. Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. Oh, we're back. I forgot we were back. Oops. How long have we been going? Jeez, we've been going 7.5 hours? Where the hell did that go? Never get that time back. Yes. Teenage Dan says they apparently say busy room / desk means busy mind, as in you've got a lot going on. Well, that is very true. I do indeed have a lot going on. So much so that I find myself getting paralyzed for feeling overwhelmed. They just kind of feel overwhelmed and then shut down and they don't get anything done. So, but that's mostly been I think, sort of shock reaction to everything that's been happening as well. So, but things seem to be calming down. As far as sorting out Mom's affairs and whatnot. So, yeah, so we should start to see some progress on that in the coming months. Constant Queen and David Bowie songs playing in my head. Yes, that's right. At the same time. At obnoxiously loud volume. Oh, this was a nice, fun return. Had some chill and chat. Had some good food. Some good conversation. I think I think I will bid you adieu for now, and perhaps we will reconvene tomorrow at some point. We'll see how early I feel alive. Sleep schedule has been an absolute disaster for the past couple of weeks. So, yes, those of you who attend the screenings, Transformers and anime, may have noticed I missed both of this week's screenings. I'm terribly sorry about that. I will try not to do that. Is it tomorrow already, since everything is a concept? I guess it is. Yeah, it is now. Should be for everybody now. April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day, everybody. I think that was my ex's birthday, actually. That is so on brand. So, honestly, I don't know if that actually is her birthday. That may have just been her clever little flag of how she was fooling me the whole time. Which one? Who? Says, what's the meaning? Is the clocks going forward? What's this did me in is the clocks. Oh, what it did me in is the clocks going forward. Okay. Yeah, that too, actually. I'm still kind of adjusting to that. I hate that one. Maybe I should turn the internet off and do more catching up on stuff. Well, that's kind of how I've been doing Friday the 13th. I mean, I'm watching it on my computer screen, so I'm still multitasking. But I do find myself, I'll full screen it when it gets to a really good one, because I want to fully soak it in. But, yeah, I might watch a little bit more of that. I got to figure out how to put all those leftovers away. Probably just put them in the fridge in their pans for now and sort it all out tomorrow. But, don't need it anymore. We did it for the farmers and the kids going to school during the war. Yeah. Well, and I've heard that even that's not necessarily all accurate either. A lot of the farmers say, like, yeah, it wasn't us. There's, like, no benefit to that for us. Like, so I don't know how this thing of, it's the fucking farmers. Okay, well, just blame the farmers. That's who you want to piss off. The farmers. The people who supply, everything you eat. Yeah, let's piss them off. Oh, really? Dan says for a few years during the war in the UK, we put them forward 2 hours. Oh, wow. It got so confusing. Michael says, I've been going back to doing weekly bad movie watches. Got burned out. Yeah, I mean, you got to take a break every so often. Mix things up a bit. I finally watched the notoriously hated League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, or LXG, as the trailers kept calling it. Ah, yes. I know I have seen that. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about it, though. Other than I don't think I hated it. But I don't think I thought it was great either. I really don't remember much. My clocks went forward yesterday, and I barely noticed, considering most of the clocks auto-adjust. Well, yes, they do. The only one that doesn't... Actually, no. None of them do. What am I talking about? The only one that does is my computer. But, Yeah, all the other ones I have to manually change, so I'm very aware of the change. It's a film that made Sean Connery walk away from acting, yeah, basically. Yeah. Michael says, I've seen worse. I don't like it, but There you go. Oh, yeah. It does, in one major aspect, get a fuck you for me in what TNA Dan said. Yeah. Exactly. Good morning, M. Quack. Took Connery away from us. Yeah. But I mean, he was probably about ready to retire by then anyway. I should say the alarm clock auto adjusts on the TVs, DVD recorders, etc. The ones I have to change are the wall clocks and the chiming clocks. Okay, so they're not really connected to anything. Fun fact: he turned down Gandalf for League. Oh my god, he must be just endlessly beating himself up over that one, at least for a while. Oh. Tina Dan says yes, because yes, Michael, because he didn't understand it, apparently. Duncan says I even did the cordless phone for good measure, as well as ringing the talking clock to set everything to the last pip. Very nice. Alrighty, Icarus. I'm probably going to head off as well. Have yourself a good night. Oh, yeah, the edible's all kicked in. Now I just kind of want to zone out. I don't feel like I'd be very entertaining at this phase. This is the zoning out phase. That's okay. I had plenty of silliness tonight, too. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to get back into more regular streaming in the month ahead. So look forward to that. Hopefully. If you don't see me, it's because I just needed a day or whatever. But you will see me when you see me. All right, catch you later, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to put all those leftovers in the fridge. Worth it.